Boom, boom, kaboom. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this spontaneous podcast from yours truly, Mr. Boom, boom, kaboom. It's Newf Nukem in the room. I may have very few viewers tonight, perhaps not even a one, but hey, maybe you'll catch us on the replay. I don't know. I just had this weird feeling like, hey, I needed to be on a podcast. I just wanted to get out and talk about some things and, as it says in the title, kind of shoot that beep a little bit here with noobs. So, um, there's been a lot of things going on over the last couple of weeks between the game awards and some game announcements and, sales and a whole bunch of different things. So, I just kind of wanted to come in and just see, kind of get the pulse of people in the community and see how everybody's feeling. And of course, we are like just a little over a week away now from Christmas, and I hope that everybody's doing well, everybody's healthy, staying away from COVID and all that stuff. And just trying to find out what games people are playing and talk about the channel just a little bit because, I haven't done as much with this channel as I like. Monster 530, hello, good evening, welcome. Hope that you're doing well. Thanks for being the first person to show up in the chat. I know there's a lot of podcasts going on Thursday nights and stuff like that. Invader Gaming is in the house. What's going on, brother Invader? Good to see you here as well. I'm not here to talk about a whole lot, and I'm not even planning to keep you here for an hour or two. Just kind of a few things just to get off my chest and talk about the channel a little bit. Joe Dunmore, what's going on, brother? How are you? Everybody's probably shocked as I am. You're kind of like, what? Newf is running a podcast? What is this all about, right? Well, it's not Gaming After Dark. It's not Good Morning Xbox. It's just old Newf solo, man. John 907, Jesse Darby, random shit. Yes, indeed. Yes, it is random. Bleep, 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 all that good stuff. Yeah. So, first of all, I got some of you guys hanging out with me in the chat. How did you guys feel about my channel this year? Have you been enjoying the content we've sort of put out? That sort of stuff. I'd like to know from you guys. I get lots of great comments and all that sort of stuff in the chats, and the growth has been a little bit slow. Yeah, well, a few things came out. Obviously this week, a big announcement from Ubisoft Toronto. I guess a remake of Splinter Cell coming out using the Snowdrop engine. So that's kind of exciting. Going back to the roots, so to speak, and perhaps gauging a little bit of, gauging the interest levels, shall you say, for Sam Fisher, for the franchise, to figure out if people want to bring it back. So Spider-Man, great movie. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I hope to see it, but I'm glad that it was awesome. All this stuff. Toolman is in the house. Well, look at you guys all showing up here. Yeah, it's just good to get some stuff off the chest and all that stuff. Yo, treacherous God. Yeah, wow. A lot of people just jumping in here. That's great to see so many people here already. Like I said, I didn't know if I'd be talking to myself. And I know there's other podcasts going on. I don't like to tread on people's toes, but I just felt like doing a podcast. I don't know why. I just had that weird random itch, and I rarely get those. And it's not hemorrhoids, so that's okay. The bum is clean. I'm like a machine, baby. How do you guys feel about the impressions and stuff that I do? How do you like the characters? Cletus, Safe House Sam, Arnold. Is it too much? Is it too little? I like this is a great chance for me now to kind of talk to you guys directly, one-on-one, to find out what you're liking and things that I can improve on. I know my channel, if there's a few things that it's definitely one. I had this chat with Dealer. I could use more content. Right, that's part of it, and perhaps that's something like this is something that I would like to do more of in 2022, as some more random shows or different things like that. That sort of stuff, right? Casket Repair, what's going on, brother? Good to see you here. No, I just want to try to bring stuff better. I definitely could use stuff more like some graphic overlays and things in the background, stuff to make the podcast a little more interactive and exciting. All those sorts of things. I got to say, this past year, it's been a dynamite year, especially for Gaming After Dark. Myself and Mag, Titan Drago, we're absolutely having a dynamite time. And I hope that you guys can hear that and feel that when you come out to watch that show. Because we have so many laughs before the show, and we sit there sometimes for half an hour after the show and talk about what we liked and how it went and how it just felt. And you guys are a big part of that. We have the best chat, bar none, every podcast says it. I don't know if it's entirely true. I know it's true when it comes to ours because the guys who are here tonight, a lot of you guys are in our chats on Tuesday nights and Sundays. A lot of the same faces, and I appreciate you guys. I wish I had the unlimited money in my pockets right now, because if I could afford it, I'd send every one of you guys a damn game or a console if I could, because um it's just unbelievable, like I said, the growth and stuff like that. So there's other ways. I know, like the super chats and stuff, I don't require them and I never ask for them. They are certainly appreciated. They definitely help out. And like I said, in the new year, early in the new year, we're going to be doing some giveaways, and hopefully that's also going to help the channel a little bit. I mean, it's always fun to be a part of those things and be able to give away stuff. I mean, frig, I like to give away a console. That would be one of my biggest giveaways for sure. Just trying to round one up is the hardest thing. So yeah, Gaming After Dark is quite the podcast, no doubt about it. So, yeah, I didn't ask any of the guys to come on and be on this podcast tonight because they're busy, and I didn't want to bother them, that sort of thing. And this isn't Gaming After Dark, and it's not Good Morning Xbox. It's just me being a solo douche hat. You know what I mean? So yeah, that would be an awesome dream, man, is to meet up with everybody at an E3. I know that's in my plans. One of these don't do giveaways. Why? Everybody loves giveaways. I mean, the downside with giveaways sometimes is you tend to get a lot of fraudulent fans, but that's not the case here. I want to give back to people that have supported my channel. And I might do the giveaway in a certain way that it rewards some of you guys that have supported me, not just like those guys that show up to your random podcast because you're giving away a console and you don't see them after that. Same thing with on Twitter. Somebody in this chat probably right now, I mean, all of you guys in this chat right now deserve something like that, because you feel like family to me. Treacherous God in particular. Tretch and me go right back to the early days of the Xbox 360, man. Like we've been friends ever since then. We still play games together. A lot of you guys, you're wicked hot. We've been playing Battlefield and a whole bunch of these things, you guys. So yeah, there's going to be heaps of phonies, Ashtray. I 100% agree, but there are ways that I can do the contest where I will do my best to reward you guys, not people that show up just because. It's nice to get new people out to the channel for sure, but we'll just see how that goes. In the new year, I'll have to go over some things and just see how it goes. Like I said, I talked a lot this past week about the Game Awards. That's said and done. I'm super happy to just say that It Takes Two on that Game of the Year. Very deserving. Nice to see a little indie title. Let's just hope that EA doesn't screw things up and drive it into the ground. So, they did a great job. Joseph Ferres, the team at Hazelight, kudos to them. What else can I say? Outside of that, I mean, like Splinter Cell, it's good to see that it's finally coming back, even though it will be a remake. I will certainly buy it because I want it to make sure that more Splinter Cell games come out. I bought every other one and played them, and I loved them absolutely. Stinking Corpse, what's going on, brother? Stinking Corpse, Nix, what's happening? Good to see you guys in the chat tonight. All that stuff. Where else is going to take? I really wanted to talk about the TV show or the mini series that was on. It's on YouTube right now, courtesy of the Xbox YouTube channel. I'm talking about Power On, Story of Xbox. I hope you guys had a chance to watch it. It's a 6-part series, each episode ranging at about 40-something minutes long. But, it's crazy. Even though my knowledge of Xbox goes right back to the beginning, to the early days, and I follow them quite heavily through the magazines, which were obviously the popular medium of the time. I was late, as I mentioned before, jumping onto the Xbox bandwagon, so to speak, coming over from the PlayStation, and I fell in love with it immediately. Like I said, I was late to the show, but boy, what a show it was. And I still remember getting my original Xbox. By then, the Duke controller had no longer existed. It was coming with the S pack-in. If my memory serves me correctly, I think it came with the dual disc. I think it was Tetris was it Tetris Worlds, and I think it was Star Wars: The Clone Wars on one of those dual discs. And my first game played, if you go back and you look at my statistics on that Xbox little thing that they did a while back, whatever it was Halo 2. I mean, obviously, it was a big reason I bought the Xbox was for Halo 2. Odd, because I kind of skipped over the first game. At the time, just like the Power On said, like first-person shooters on consoles weren't really coming into their own. The last one that I really played was GoldenEye on the N64. A little bit of those, Doom and Wolfenstein, the older ones, right? So Halo being a new franchise, it wasn't something I was enamored about. But once I picked up number 2, I fell in love immediately, went back and played the original. So yeah, definitely check out Power On, guys. It's a great retrospective, and a nice thing that refreshes your memory, because a lot of stuff in those shows you kind of forget about. And the one thing that makes me super proud and happy to be an Xbox fan, if you watch the speeches from some of these people, and I especially noticed it with people like Aaron Greenberg and Shannon Loftus, you can hear and you can see it in their eyes, the level of dedication, being proud. Like I think it was Shannon Loftus who kind of said it best, like the Red Ring of Death era, for example, with them. It was a dark moment in the history of Xbox, but she was also very proud that they did the right thing. And that was, they decided to replace every single Xbox that came in. Over $1 billion spent fixing the Red Ring of Death era, which they said was one of the highest failure rates in any consumer electronics product probably in the world. But you could tell that they were proud of their achievements. They learned from some of their mistakes, including they admitted they made a mistake with Lionhead Studios, shutting them down, and definitely made some missteps there, and hopefully learning from that as they acquire new studios and grow the brand, right? So my God, that's all I gotta say. That what a fantastic 6-part series. And it just makes you really proud to be an Xbox fan. And it also makes you feel very fortunate to be a fan of Xbox, because first of all, they are lucky they got it off the ground. If it wasn't for guys like Seamus Blackley and Otto and a lot of these guys, with their hard work and their pitches and everybody else involved, Robbie, what's his name? Was it Rob Thompson or whatever his name was there? And like that whole crew, right? How smart they were to snap up Bungie when they did and get them to work on Halo. And there was a lot of really cool stuff that you learned about Xbox throughout that 6-part series. And it definitely spread a new light, shine a nice light on what happens behind the scenes in the industry. And, people think a lot of these corporate guys are just suits and they're kind of like, it's money this, money that. But boy, there's a lot of passionate people behind the scenes at Xbox that really care about the product and care about the fans. And you look at the launch of the 360, the giant 0-hour launch at the Mojave Desert, like that stuff like that. Like, I'm envious. I'm jealous. I never got to be a part of any of that. And that stuff does not happen anymore. Like, we don't see that stuff. Seamus, what's going on, brother? Good to see you here. That stuff does not happen anymore. I miss the midnight launches. Unfortunately, the digital age and stuff like that has nullified the effect of the midnight launch and what that used to mean to fans. And it's sad. Just recently when I picked up my physical copy of Halo, yes, guys, I actually still went out and bought a physical copy, even though I've been able to play it through Game Pass. I bought the copy because I wanted to have a piece of ownership. I wanted to have something for my collection, so to speak, right? I miss the midnight. I miss talking to fans. I miss that excitement that you can't get by just sitting at home and waiting for the clock to tick down to 12 o'clock so you can start downloading and all this sort of stuff, right? I miss all that stuff, man. We take that for granted, but I would probably give a left nut to go back and do most of that stuff again. But like I said, I bought the game, and what's sad is I walked into my GameStop and they didn't have tons of these things on the shelf. Like, one guy came in to get a copy, and he literally told the guy, Yeah, we only have enough to cover pre-orders. They had like about 20 something pre-ordered copies of the game. And I was floored. Like, this is Halo Infinite. If you look at Power On, if you look at back in the day, there were thousands of copies of games at the stores, hundreds, like wall to wall stacks of these games. And it was so exciting grabbing that game and walking out and knowing what you're in for. And that excitement is gone. I know you got to get with the times, all that sort of stuff. As a matter of fact, I think even the Halo Infinite disc, I don't even think there's a game on the disc. I think it's actually no more than a disc DRM. It's just a license thing. That's it. I don't even think there's anything on it, period. That's crap. I know Boozy, it's Boozy the Clown. Welcome. Cyber Gunter, what's happening? And I totally get it. I mean, I totally get why people are gone digital, and I have no issues with it outside of that minor issue that I just said right there. You walk in to get a physical copy, and stores basically don't have them, especially GameStop now, which is a shell of its former self. Like, they're like afraid to even order these games. It's like, oh, you got to have a pre-order, or basically you don't get it. Like, what kind of BS is that? Whatever happened to just having, like, okay, that you're going to have your pre-order, so you do your 50, your 100, your 200 copies, and then you bring in an extra 50, 60, or 70 for the average bloke who just walks in on the street. What the fuck, right? Like, where is that? That's what I'm talking about. You don't have this. We're seeing that glut right now of trying to get a console in stores. They have to start getting these things into stores. And more than 4 or 5. They need to stock these stores up. Now, there must be some indication that stocks are starting to grow a little bit, because if I noticed one thing in the last 2 days, on the Facebook Marketplace, PlayStation 5, for example, a lot of guys went from asking $1,100. Later, Tretch, good to see you, man, and hopefully we'll be able to play soon. And Tretch, by the way, I picked up another Nintendo Switch. Yes, Newfonomics hard at work. Got another Nintendo Switch, and I look forward to joining you guys for one of the Nintendo Switch community game nights. So keep me in the loop on that, brother. But I noticed that the guys selling PlayStation 5s online, the prices are coming down a bit. So I'm starting to wonder if that they're noticing the demand drop, or they're having a hard time getting rid of these things at those astonishing prices. And they will. At some point, they're going to have to sell at cost or barely above cost to get rid of them, because there will be consoles in the stores to go and buy. It's nice to see the Xbox Series S actually showing up at a lot of retailers. I've been at many places so far, and I've seen them. Like, I bet you on 10 occasions I could have walked in and bought a Series S. Royal Boyle, how are you, my brother? Good to see you in the chat, Royal. My thoughts go to you, man. I know this is going to be a very hard Christmas for you and your family. I still know that was a terrible loss for you. You lost your dad. A lot of people had terrible years this year when it comes to health and losses in their family. So my thoughts not only go to you, but my thoughts go out to everybody in this community who's been touched by, disease and all that sort of stuff. Obviously, people passing and stuff like that. So, yeah, on your own, this is a first for me. Not sure what that means. This, like I said, guys, this is a totally impromptu podcast. I just felt like coming on and just, again, as the title says, just random, shooting with you guys. And I'm friggin' astonished there's 20 people here. That's almost as much as we get out of Sunday morning for Good Morning Xbox. Now, if anybody feels like they want to join me and shoot the beans, the shadow drop, metalhead, absolutely, baby. Sometimes those are the best. You just jump in, no topics per se, but you know what, this is a great chance for you guys to give me some feedback, as well as, if you have something you'd like to hear me talk about, drop it in the chat right now. If you want to hear my thoughts on a certain something, now's a great time. Random questions, all that stuff, right? I have done these solo shows in the past, Pixel. I have not done them in a long time. I just felt like maybe now was the time you lead into Christmas. I know there won't be a lot of podcasts in the next week or two. A lot of people will, you're going to ask me about the NHL. I don't even want to talk about the Oilers right now. It's disgusting. That's all I'm going to say. The Oilers stink. And if they're losing right now to the Columbus Blue Jackets, I'm going to flip a lid, okay? Um, yeah, my Edmonton Oilers were like 16-4 to start the year. They were up. Oh, thank God. So say if they lose tonight, man, I don't know. Um, yeah, what Oilers? Yeah, in the NHL, the Edmonton Oilers are my favorite hockey team. If you guys haven't gathered that already, they were 6, I think, and 4 to start the season. They were at the top of the league, and then just like that, December comes around enough they drink some bad eggnog, or they get a little too excited, or perhaps they got a little too much Christmas cheer with their old ladies in the sack. But these guys, they must be doing scoring in the bedroom because he sure as hell ain't scoring on the ice. They forget what it is to play hockey, and yeah, and then they shit the bed every year. Next, McDavid is king. Yeah, McDavid is absolutely dynamite, brother. Absolutely. If you see the dumpster, my island, yeah, it's sad, man. The Islanders, man, they were doing so good for a while, and they got rid of Jordan Eberle. That sucked. I love Jordan Eberle. He was one of my favorite Oilers. He went to the Islanders, and of course, they lost him to the Kraken, which was really sad. Um, but they'll bounce back, man. They'll bounce back. For the 49ers, man, well, it was an up and down year, I think, overall. And uh, yeah, can't wait for them to go and play for a Super Bowl again, but that ain't happening. Boozy the Clown, add you. Absolutely, guys. Add Boozy, gamer tag online, and you can add me. I'm Newf Nukem pretty much everywhere. You guys have any game related questions or anything you'd like to ask me? That sort of thing about the podcast or stuff like that. Like I said, big shout out to Titan Drago and Middle Age Game Guy. Those two guys, they're my family. They absolutely killed it with me this year. Gaming After Dark's been on fire. We got a special episode coming to you this week. It'll be the year in review. So next Tuesday, 10 Eastern, year in review. And guess who's going to be on there? Our guest is going to be a first time ever, the Wise Old Gamer. You've probably seen him in the chat during Gaming After Dark with a lot of hilarious comments and questions. And he's going to be our guest for the first time ever next week. This Sunday, as a matter of fact, on Good Morning Xbox, I see Axel is here in the chat tonight. Axel1324, what's up, brother? We've got some special guests. We're going to have a couple of developers and public relations from a little group called Crave Entertainment, and they make a game called Grim Dawn, which was a PC ARPG. What I mean by that, it came out on Steam, and then I think it might have went to the PlayStation a couple of years ago, but it's basically a game in the vein of Diablo. It actually looks a lot like Diablo. If you saw them at first glance, you probably wouldn't tell the difference. But they're going to be on this weekend to talk about their game, which is now available for Xbox. Who knows? They might even be giving away a couple of codes on the show. But we're looking forward to that, to having our first ever indie developer spotlight going to be on the show. That's going to be a lot of really cool. And even better, if you haven't been following me on my Twitter account, guess who is going to be our guest on January the 2nd? And this is going to be on Good Morning Xbox. We are going to be talking with the one and only Xbox Pope, or he's called his Pope Art right now. He makes some of the best console custom designs, faceplates, game controllers, you name, in the business, in the industry. This guy is huge. Like, to me, like, if you don't know who he is, I don't even know how you're even following the Xbox brand at this point, because that guy is unbelievable. And he's such a great guy. I've had the opportunity to play on community games nights with Xbox Pope, or Pope Art, as we call him now. He's had to drop the Xbox part. And I'm looking forward to, because I've never really sat down. I'm looking forward to having him sort of at the round table to talk about, where he comes up with his inspiration, his ideas, and how long it takes to go from, say, idea to prototype to all that sort of stuff. And his fantastic, relationships with people at Xbox and a few other people. Shannon Lovely, how are you? What's going on? Good to see you here. Yeah. Let's see here. We had a couple, the Minnesota Wild. Yeah, well, they beat up the Oilers there just recently. They've had the Oilers number for a couple of years. Shannon, Seamus Kelly, he loves my Cletus. Well, thank you, Seamus, because I think Cletus is the one of the three personalities that bring the Gaming After Dark. Probably doesn't get enough love. Newf, why is Xbox the best gaming brand? Well, again, this is very subjective, but I'm going to tell you why Xbox is the best gaming brand. It's the best, I think, because personally, first of all, I think it has the best game franchises everywhere. And I mean that because it's the ones that I love. And again, this is subjective, but it has the franchises that I love. It has probably the most diverse portfolio from their first party teams, meaning they have everything from shooters to kind of puzzle games to action adventure, racing, you name it. Xbox has basically been killing it. They've spent the last 4 or 5 years, trying to repair their reputation. It's really funny because I've been saying this and I've said this on the past podcast, and they basically proved it when in the episodes of Power On, when I said that the Xbox One X, why did they make it? It was a love letter to real Xbox fans, to the diehards, the hardcores. For those of us who were fed up with the fact that Xbox did not longer carry the most powerful console mantra, it was something that they had in the original Xbox. It's something that the Xbox 360 did extremely well. Power, performance, all that good stuff. They had that, and then they lost that. You know what I mean? And that's why they made the Xbox One X, for no much more reason than to keep the fan base happy, to prove that they were still serious about gaming and that they were going to come out swinging in this generation of consoles, which they have been. It's been a dynamite year for Xbox. And the funny part is, it's just starting. It's only going to get a heck of a lot better. We saw a dynamite year. Halo Infinite, well, maybe not as good as I had overly hoped. I think it's still a dynamite game. It's been a ton of fun, and I see a lot of people playing it. And if you're playing it and you're having fun, that's, at the end of the day, that's all that matters. It really matters not if the graphics are not as good as you'd hoped or this is not as good as you hoped. If you're having fun, you're loving the game, you're sharing pictures, and you're thinking about those games. When you go to bed and you're thinking about that game, or you're coming home from work and you're thinking about that game, the game has done something right. Bottom line. That's it, man. Yeah, well, maybe before we close this show tonight, I'll do a couple of my personalities. And thanks for the friend request, Boozy the Clown. Greatly appreciated. So hopefully, like I said, I love Xbox again because of the game portfolio. Game Pass is the best deal in gaming. Almost pretty much the best game is the best deal in entertainment, period, right now. I can't think of anything else that gives you more value and more reasons to actually subscribe to a service than Game Pass. They're killing it. Xbox Live just essentially keeps getting better and better. I still think they have the best controller in the industry. I love the Xbox controller. It's always just felt right. It just continues to improve. The fan service, and even right down to the executive level, where they have executives that will actually come into podcast chats and watch a show, or they'll reply to you and send you messages and things. Like, I've talked with Aaron Greenberg, and I've actually gamed. Yes, believe it or not, I have gamed briefly with Phil Spencer and a few people like that, and they're so down to earth, regular people, and they care about what they do. They really do care about what they do, and they care about the brand, and they care about their fan base. And during the Power On shows, they openly admit they lost sight of what made their brand popular, and that was games. It's all about the games first. You can do a million other things right after that, but you got to get the games right first, and you got to do right by the people that make your brand popular, right? That is the bottom line. Are there memberships coming, Monster, to the channel? Potentially. I haven't even really looked into that, to be honest with you. I figured when my channel crossed a certain number of criteria, like once I cross a threshold of a certain amount of subs, I would start to take a look more seriously at various aspects of the show and add back into it. You know what I mean? So, that's what I thought. Caitlin, how are you doing? Caitlin, good to see you in the chat. Watching Mav and Pong earlier in the PM. Great show as always. Pong, Soul, Mav, or Fun Speculations, we want to call them. They have great podcasts, great group of guys, amazing success in 2021. Blew it out of the way with Fun Pop and the Xbox Ultimate Podcast and a few other things. Of course, Mav and PM and the PM with Pong, Soul, and Mav. They have a few different things on the go, but they've been killing it. That's another great thing about 2021. We've had an up and down year, but I made a lot of new friends this year throughout the community, a lot of podcast people as well. People that are just, they say they look to me at inspiration and stuff like that, but I look to them as well because they've been just dynamite and a ton of fun. You know, we've just been having a great time. You know, they're awesome, man. It's just been the great community. Forza Horizon 5. Newf, do you have the Elite controller too? No, Metalhead, I do not. I have the original Elite controller. I love mine, and I've had no issue. Well, no, I have had one minor issue. There seems to be something wrong with my audio jack. It's almost like it crackles or something like that when I plug in certain headsets to it. So thank God I have the new Xbox wireless headset, so I don't have that issue. But people always complain that there's something wrong with my audio, so something definitely off with my jack. But as far as the bumpers and any other issues with my Elite Series 1, I've had no issues at all. The controller is amazing. I love the weighty feel to it. I love the rubber gripping. Just a fantastic controller. And that's Series 1. I would love to get that Halo Elite 2. Oh my God, would I love to get my hands on that. Forza Horizon 5, do you like it? Well, Shannon Lovely, does a bear shit in the woods? I don't like it. I love it. Fantastic game. I recommend that everybody play it. If you like racing games, you should definitely be playing Forza Horizon 5. There's so much to do. There's so much content in that game, and it looks beautiful, especially on the Xbox Series X. It runs great wherever you have it, but it's great over there. So, yeah, there's a lot of awesome games this holiday, John. For everybody in the chat, what's been the top game you played this year? What would be your number one game? I'd love to hear from everybody in the chat. What's been your number one game this year? Mine was obviously It Takes Two, closely followed by Psychonauts 2, which was unbelievable. Uh, Halo Infinite's definitely well up there. Ratchet and Clank was another dynamite one. Matter of fact, I had fun with even some of the lesser stuff this year. Like, I actually really enjoyed the Medium for the most part. I played through that and had a good time. And I really just like that one from what's her name? House of Ashes, those games, the dark, the hell did they call them? The Dark Pictures anthology. Like, I've even enjoyed those. I really enjoy those games a lot. And I highly recommend it if you get a chance to play House of Ashes or Man of Medan, or the other one, which is I'm just trying to think of the name. It's eluding me off the top of my head, but they're great little games if you like that sort of thing, that sort of semi cinematic action game where, yes, there is that quick time element to it, but you control the story and all that sort of stuff. Boozy says flight sim. Well, flight sim, what can you say to that? I mean, I'm not a big fan of the flight sim. But boy, God, it looked amazing. Amazing looking game. Amazing game. Spider-Man 2018 from Toolman. Spider-Man is an amazing game. Whether you're playing it from the original from 2018, unbelievable game. A lot of fun. Miles Morales was another dynamite game as well. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I beat that game. Had a great time with it. Yeah, my buddy Seamus, he really loved Deep Rock Galactic. I think that's one of the last ones you were playing before you got rid of your Xbox for the 5 millionth time, Seamus. One of these days, Seamus, you'll keep it. One of these days, your Newfonomics is almost as bad as mine. Actually, you have a different type of Newfonomics because you just basically sell your shit and then rebuy it, whereas I trade my shit and then rebuy it. So, Cyber Gunter says Guardians of the Galaxy. I have that game. It's still in my shrink wrap, and the reason why I want to play it really bad, but I'm actually leaving it for Christmas. It's going to be a rough Christmas for me. From a gifts and games and all that stuff perspective, it's been gotta be honest, it's been an absolutely brutal year financially for me, for a lot of reasons, and I don't know why. It's just one of those times, where it just seems like everything compounds and it comes at you all at full force, and you spend 2 weeks spending money, and then you spend 8 months trying to catch up for that kind of shit. Well, that's where I feel like I am when it comes to money right now. And not a lot has changed. Well, the biggest change for us, honestly, and why it's tighter is because we moved into a house, and we didn't realize how how much money we actually had in our pockets when we stayed at our condo, because we were renting and we didn't have all these heavy insurance fees, and we didn't have massive heat and water bills and all of these things that come with home ownership, they really kick you in the balls. Boozy says the Artful Escape is a must play. I definitely want to play that one, and I can't wait to try it out. I want to try out the Gunk, which is available today, by the way, guys, on Game Pass. And yes, Seamus, you are worse, man. I don't even know the running count of Xboxes you've had, but it's well up there. It's definitely, when you can't count the amount of times you've had a console on one hand, you got some kind of an issue. Simple as that. And I thought I had a lot of PS4s, but nothing on how many times you've had the Xbox Ones, that's for sure. But anyway, I'm just joking with you, Seamus. It's all good, brother. And hopefully we get to hang out over the holidays, because it's been way too long and it's overdue. Metalhead was playing the Ascent. The Ascent, I dabbled with it briefly, played it a little bit with Lupa, and who else was I playing with? And I never went back to it. There's so many other games that came out right around the time the Ascent came out. Of course, we also got Back for Blood. Phenomenal. Tons of fun. Played that for a bit, and of course, that game's gone into the back pile. And I was just looking at some of my backlog last night, and it's absolutely staggering. Raise your hand in the chat if you've got more than 20 games in your backlog, because mine are well past 20. Some of these games I haven't even started. Like, I picked up, I think the game Just Cause 4. Like, I think I picked that up last year, like dirt cheap, and never played it. Never even installed it. I'm dying to play that one. There's a crap ton of games that I got that I haven't even played. Dishonored. There's another game that I've been meaning to check out, but I don't have and haven't checked it out, but it is on Game Pass. So, yeah, I want to try that Alien game, that Fireteam Alien. That looks kind of cool. And obviously it's multiplayer. Really want to give that a shot. The more systems you got, the harder this gets too. If you got multiple systems, you're like, I want to play this game on that console, and I want to play this game on that console. And honest to God, guys, sometimes I think that, honestly, there's times I just go, I should just dwindle myself down to one console, because I don't understand why having all these consoles, I can barely find the time to play games on one, let alone 3 or 4. You know what I mean? Jesse's loving Cyberpunk. He liked it even with the bugs. Jesse, I started it. Might have been probably 10 hours into Cyberpunk, perhaps, and never really played it since. And it wasn't really because of the bugs. It just got lost in the shuffle. I look forward to going back and playing it, but I just don't know when. Perhaps at this point, I might be just better off waiting for the Xbox Series X enhancements and then trying it. So, yeah. But we'll see how that goes. The GTA Remaster, actually, I pre-ordered the GTA Remaster. I know, guys, I can hear the boos already. But I pre-ordered it for the Switch, because honestly, I'm thinking that's a cool little game to be playing portable. You're going on vacation, you're going on a trip, just drive around some cities and shoot some shit and avoid some cops and all that good stuff. And, they kind of sent it back to the drawing board, I guess, to fix a few issues they have with the game. The physical copy has not released yet. It's coming out soon. I think the Switch version dropped sometime in January. So I pre-ordered that, and I can't wait to play it. And then, of course, yeah, we're talking about next year. It's crazy. Like, there's so many games coming out next year, especially in February. One of the ones I certainly can't wait to get my hands on in 2022 is obviously going to be Horizon Forbidden West. I am super stoked about that game, but I need to get myself another PlayStation 5. I will not buy that copy until I get a PS5. Hopefully they're more readily available in early 2022, and hopefully I got some more money by then. So, what up, Froggy T. Wright? Good to see you in the chat, brother. How are you? Man, it's lots of cool people here tonight. Toolman, Cyber Gunter, the Metalhead, John, Jesse Darby, Caitlin, Serenity. What's happening? Shannon Lovely, Ashtray Gaming, Pixel Slapper. Man, you guys are awesome. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys. 19 people here on a spontaneous podcast. Unbelievable. You guys are going to make me blush or cry or perhaps fart. Maybe all three at the same time. Who knows? Because that's how Newf does it, people. That's how Newf does it. Does anybody have any specific questions, perhaps, from my alternate personalities? I don't want to keep you guys much longer. I don't want this podcast to go over an hour, like it's just an impromptu. But if you do have a question, I can certainly try to do my best to crack them out. We don't have any timelines, and we have nobody waiting to go to bed, unlike some of my other podcasts. All that stuff. Do I use a mic? No, you know what? I have it. I see the points, but I haven't used it. Well, that's false. I used some of the points that I had a while back for something. I can't even remember what it was, but up until then, I hadn't even really bothered with it or even paid attention to it, Froggy. But now with this Game Pass stuff too, you're adding points on there, and it's kind of cool. That stuff is almost paying for itself, so to speak. It's kind of nuts. It's really cool. So yeah. Hey Arnie, what's your thoughts on the Splinter Cell remake? Great question. Well, I wanted to just tell you this. This is about time that Ubisoft finally got off of the asses and actually decided they're going to make another game. I mean, I love Splinter Cell. Who doesn't like Michael Ironside doing the voice of Sam Fisher and doing all of the great stuff? I mean, there's no franchise out there like it. I mean, you could say that Metal Gear Solid, but it's not quite the same. But Splinter Cell has always been an amazing, incredible game on its own, and I'm glad that they're finally going to bring it back, even if it is a remake. Sometimes, you know what? You got to bring it back. Sometimes the old is new again, and you do gain a new audience, and you do great. So I'm really happy to see that game is coming back, and I want everybody out there to make sure that you take your money and you go and you buy it. Arnie Newf, you're awesome. Well, you're awesome, Cyber Gunter. You're awesome. They let you renew 8,000 points for a $10 gift card each month. That's pretty cool, man. What kind of headset does everybody use, according to Toolman in the chat? In terms of my preference for headsets, there's a lot of great ones out there, some that are really expensive. Personally, the two that I'm using right now, and the one that I actually use during these podcasts, is called the Rig 400. So it's a wired headset, and it's from Plantronics. I can't recommend Rig headsets enough, and I'm not being paid to say that. Ever since I put this one on, the first thing I noticed was comfort. It's super light, it's easy to maneuver, it's durable, and it just sounds great. And it's compatible with Dolby Atmos, and with the right applications, this headset sounds awesome, and it's at a budget price. That's the thing. It's at a budget price. Like, you can pick up a 400 model or a 500 model because they're wired for less than the $100 price range. I think I even bought this one on the time it was a Black Friday sale. I think it was like $50. It's been a steal of a deal. Now, the other one that I use mostly for gaming and stuff like that has been my Xbox. One. Been using that one quite a bit. So what do you call it? The Xbox wireless controller. That one's been really good. Enjoyed that one a lot. Pretty great sound. You do have to adjust it a little bit when you get the Xbox wireless headset, because some of the default audio settings feel a little bit off. So I do recommend you watch some videos on it. Some guys have these equalizer settings, so to speak. I've heard the steel ones are really, really good and built really well as well. So great choice right there. I know back in the 360, Turtle Beach was everything, but Turtle Beach kind of had the market to themselves for the most part. Turtle Beach is not as quite as good as it used to be. I've also heard some of the HyperX headphones are really quite good. So yeah. Arnie, Dylan the pencil pushing claw sneak in the Artful Escape. Yes, Apollo Creed himself, Carl Weathers, Action Jackson is all over that game. He hasn't played it, so he can't speak on it, unfortunately. So there you go. But now, guys, all seriousness, like I said, I just wanted to come on some random thoughts. I can't wait for 2022. Got some things planned, like I said, for the channel, including some giveaways. Got some great guests lined up already early in the year. And on next week's Gaming After Dark, we're going to have a year in review. So we look forward for me and Titan and Mag to kind of go back through the catalog of podcasts and different articles throughout the year and talk a little bit about what was big, what was bad, the good, the bad, the ugly from 2021, all that good stuff. So my God, 2 elites with stick drift. What is going on with people in stick drift and bumpers falling off? It's really funny. I don't know, man. Either you guys are having really bad luck with your controllers or you're rough on them or something. I don't know, because I've had one controller of my entire life that had minor stick drift. and I've never had a controller that had a button pop off. So I don't know what the heck is going on, but for a controller that you spend like nearly $200 for in the United States, and up here in Canada, Elite 2 will set you back well over 200. That's just nuts. I thought they tested these things, regularly tested them for like how many hours and did whatever. So that just seems weird. Cletus, what are you doing? Newf is not around.
Well, he ain't feeling it. When Newford's not around, you know me, man, I just like to keep it simple. Sometimes I sits down, I takes off my stinky socks, puts my feet up on the table. Wife just loves that, though. She just loves that. Sometimes I gets a frying pan upside the head, which will explain a whole lot of things. And, spends a lot of time in the backyard with the pigs and chasing the raccoons. That'll keep you busy for a lot of hours, chasing them raccoons all around the yards and all that good stuff. And sometimes, man, I'm not too busy and I'm not getting the milk from the cows and all that stuff. I spends my time up in the room and I've been playing some of that Nintendo. You know what I'm saying? And that machine boy, I tell you, they knows what they're doing. Love that Mary. He jumping on everything.
Jesus, 400 on. No wonder it was a nightmare, John. My God, man. I hope that Microsoft's been able to look after that issue for you, though. I'm pretty sure you've sent them in, and hopefully they're warranted or guaranteed or something. Because, yeah, you shouldn't be having issues with controllers like that, man. I mean, they look good and they feel good, but hey, if they perform like absolute crap, that's not much good, is it? So, yeah, there you go. My wife can play. Hey, Wise Old Gamer. Speaking of the man himself, yes, Wise Old Gamer is going to be our guest next week on Gaming After Dark for that special year in review episode. And hey, wouldn't be quite a year in review without Wise Old Gamer, who certainly added plenty of chuckles to our game, to the podcast chats every week and week out on, especially on Gaming After Dark. So good to see you here, man. Thanks for that. And all that good stuff, guys. So, yeah, I don't know. Anybody else have any questions, any comments? We talked about favorite games, 2021. Anything else you'd like to ask me? Because, like I said, I didn't come in prepared with a ton of topics, so I'll leave a lot of that for the weekend. And but like I said, I got some things I want to do with the channel next year, and I definitely plan on doing some more stuff similar to what we're doing here tonight, with more of the random stuff, or perhaps the odd podcast in between some of the stuff that I do. I just more or less wanted to come on and wish everybody, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, all that good stuff, and just let you know that, hey, man, I'm still here, I'm still around, and I appreciate everybody, and I look forward to, chatting with you more in the new year, and hopefully, like I said, bringing some more stuff to the channel. Community game nights as well. Don't forget to check those out on Saturday nights, on the weekends. Mr. Tushy, Animated Evil, they run the UK version of Community Game Night, which usually hits at around I think it's like 2 p.m. I think Mountain Time, which should be around 4 p.m. I think in the evening if you're on the East Coast. Festivus, yes, happy Festivus, all that stuff. Yeah. So, like I said, lots of stuff that I want to do. Oh my God, they went after the 90-day warranty. Maybe they should put a full year on those damn things. At $200 or $250, should give you a full year warranty on that controller, man. That's ridiculous. Blue Moon FC, how's it going? Good to see you in the chat. You're online, so I can't miss it, except for that Sunday show you do at the butt crack in the morning. Yeah, indeed. It is a butt crack in the morning. Trust me, man. It takes all my energy to get up for me at Mountain Time, I still got to get up. I get up just after 6 o'clock, get the coffee going, take care of the cats, and head downstairs and boot everything up and cross my fingers that my damn laptop actually works. My God, if there's one thing I need to invest in, is a fucking laptop that's not a piece of absolute junk. I have this Acer Aspire. Yeah, they put the ass in the Aspire, that's for sure, because this thing's been running like complete ass ever since I bought it, like about 3 years ago. Got it on a Black Friday special. I mean, if I look at what's in the damn computer, like it should run well enough for what I'm doing here. It's got like it's got an AMD Ryzen 5 Radeon. Like it's got some pretty good specs. Bottom line here, I can't even see what's on it, but it should be running better than my old laptop, and my old laptop grew on circles around this thing. It's like this one's schizophrenic. It's like I'll boot it up at one point in time and it runs perfect. Next time I boot it up, it's slow as Methuselah. Next time you boot it up, you might look at a blank screen and then it finally comes into fruition. Then you'll boot it up at other times and everything works, and then it's just kind of randomly shuts down. Or you switch out a screen and it goes blue or it goes black. And it does so much random crap, and it's always 9 out of 10 times it's always slow. And I don't know why, because I basically wiped it and cleaned it and got rid of a lot of the junk stuff on there. So there's definitely either something wrong with the computer or there's something wrong with some kind of a software thing that's definitely hanging this thing up. So, yeah, man, I will enjoy Guardians of the Galaxy. Bel Airy, how's it going, man? Good to see you in the chat. I definitely can't wait to play that game. It looks like a ton of fun. The videos I've saw so far, heck, even the Avengers game's not all that bad if you go back and just kind of ignore a lot of the junk part of it. But I've had a lot of fun with a lot of games this year. But honestly, It Takes Two and Psychonauts 2, head and shoulders above just about anything else I've played. And Halo Infinite, my God, that game is great. Still not my favorite game of the year. And if it comes down to, Halo Infinite, I still prefer the linear style of the Halo campaigns. Yeah, what the F is this, Splendiferous? Yes, good to see you in the chat. It's just a random, man. It's a one-off. It's just me here all going solo tonight. Yes, by myself. And I do that once in a while, but it's been a very long time since I've done this, and I just felt like, hey, I wanted to get on tonight and chirp. I don't know. You feel like that once in a while. You know what I'm saying? You just want to talk, or sometimes you just want to crawl in the corner shop and suck your thumb. I don't know. Whatever appeals to you. It's all good. And a shout out to all the true supporters this year. I've learned a lot about a lot of different people this year, and I'm not going to come out here and highlight names. I don't really do that. But behind the scenes, I learned lots of stuff about different people, and I learned that there are people in this community that can't stand you. They don't like to see you have any success. There are people here that want to stab you in the back, and oh boy, that knife's been in my back a few times and turned pretty deep. And the worst part is you could kind of, for the people you don't know that well, they want to talk crap about you and they want to do whatever. It's kind of whatever, you can dismiss it. But the fucking ones that act like you're their friend, and the ones that try to pretend that they like you and they like your content and they like what you're doing, and they turn around and basically go in a party chat or they go somewhere else and talk shit about you. You're a piece of shit or you're a scumbag or whatever the fuck they want to talk about. I just got no time for that, man. You know what I mean? I got no time for that anymore. You know what? Yeah. Absolutely. You gotta try to roll with the punches and try to not think too much about it, but kind of sucks because some of these people, you respect and you admire, and you turn out to find out that, for whatever reason, they just don't like you. And I've never said a bad thing. Like, there's people in this community. I think they're great people. Do I think all their content's great? No. But absolutely, Splen. There are some guys who take up way too much energy. We think too much of it. But you know what? All I'm going to say is, in the new year, I learned a few things. I'm going to start blocking. I'm going to start unfollowing. I'm going to clean my timeline up. It's amazing how much better my timeline's actually gotten since I got rid of one guy recently. I don't know if you guys know the guy, but his name is Failed Pyromancer. I'm going to say his name right on the podcast. I got rid of him, and I had nothing personal with the guy, but I just got fucking tired of every time I came onto my Twitter timeline, I'd see his tweets, and he's always talking about fucking Xbots. Don't, I always had this problem with everything to Xbox. And, you get fucking tired of that real quick. If there's a legitimate problem, you want to call it out, great. But like me, I don't fucking get on Twitter and constantly shit on Sony, even though sometimes they deserve a fucking bucket load of dog shit for some of the crappy things that they do. But I don't sit there and, hey, the pony's this and the pony's that and something else. You know what I mean? Guys, what I'm saying, right? So, yeah. So, and again, and I'm like, I don't mean this. It's nothing personal. Like, the guy is cool. I played games with the guy and stuff like that. But I just can't handle that, like, the constant bombardment of immaturity, like, from people's timelines. I just have no time for that. Yeah. It's kind of funny too when I go on YouTube. Every time I get on YouTube, they keep fucking recommending Griffin Gaming to me all the time. And I have no fucking idea why they recommend that guy. I honestly, I have no time for his content. I can't stand his demeanor. He does nothing but build his channel based on shitting on other channels and other content creators, and I got no time for that either. If that's how you want to build yourself up, is by constantly ragging on other people's content and shitting on other content creators, I'm not going to watch your show, man. I don't get, that's, and that's a heads up to anybody doing that. Don't fucking make a podcast and spend half of your podcast bitching about popular podcasts. It's not a good look. Okay, it gets old real quick. Just a heads up for those of you who do it, and you know who you are. So next time you're running a podcast, just try to keep in mind, about your content. You know what I mean? So I think I got a super chat up in here. What's going on? I think I missed it already. Here it is, and it comes in from our good friend the Wine Soul Gamer. He's dropping $5. Hey, Newf, to use a line from Full Metal Jacket. What do we get for $5? Hey, for $5, I don't know. Perhaps you could get a special appearance here by Safe House Sam. He's in the background lurking. Hey, man, what's going on, brother? Yeah, Safe House Sam, hey, guys. First of all, I don't know how many more times you're going to get to hear this beautiful voice of mine echoing through these headsets, but I want to tell you guys, yeah, amazing. I love the chat, the support, everything that you guys have been doing for me this past year. I've risen to stardom up in here, baby, because of your love and your support and all your good words and kind words of wisdom. And I love it. Newf Nukem, he's still a douche. And if you want to think that about him, that's cool. That's your prerogative. I don't care for Newf Nukem. But you know what? He kind of controls what I do and what I see. So I guess I got to watch my mouth or he can cut it real quick. So you know what I mean? So, but anyway, I was really good to be here, guys. And no, I'm not having an enema. And I'm not having hemorrhoids. This is just how I am 24/7. I sound like I'm strained. Yes, I am, because I'm strained and constrained, baby. That's right. And see if I say in the house, baby. I'll be back. Lots more of me in 2022, baby. I'm going to get my own fucking show. I'll show this Newf Nukem how it's done. I'll get to 10,000 subs before he even gets down the subway to Bauer. Yeah, bitches. Let's go. There you go, guys. Safe House Sam. That's what you got for your $5. Hey, Newf Nukem, I shit on you guys. What are you trying to say? Hey, at least you're open about it, so that's a bonus. So you're not hiding anything. You want to shit on us? Go right ahead. I'd rather you throw shit in my face than throw shit on my back, you know what I mean? Because at least in my face, I can wipe it off. You get what I'm saying, brother? But anyway, no, everybody's been pretty good, man. I would be your sour graping, but no, it's amazing what you can do sometimes when you just clean up the timelines and you align yourself with like-minded people. And so it doesn't mean that you got to have the... you can't have a difference of opinion. Heck, we have a difference of opinion on GAD. We have a difference of opinion sometimes on Good Morning Xbox, but we do it respectfully. We have a good time doing it. It's a lot of fun. So as we hit the 1 hour mark, and I said I would not go over, strained and constrained. Yes. Just want to thank all you guys for coming out. 22 amazing people here in the chat at some point in time. I didn't expect to get anybody to show up for this. It was, again, totally random. But you know what? I had fun with it. I'm going to do it more in the new year as long as you guys, hey, you give me the thumbs up and say, Newf, just bring it on whenever, man. If he's heard you switch to fiber therapy, you're going to call your turds Omicron because there's a new strain. Yes, he should. He should get that tattooed on his butt because he's straining to get one out all the time. But like I said, keep an eye out, like I said, on my Twitter. See you guys on Xbox Live, PlayStation, all that good stuff. Follow you guys there. And yeah, I just wanted to wish everybody, in case I'm not chatting with you in the chats or in any particular fashion over the next couple of weeks, as I said, happy Festivus, happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, happy Kwanzaa, whatever applies to you, or just happy holidays. I want everybody to be safe, be healthy. It's been a rough year. It's been a good year. It's been a rough year. It's been a lot of ups and downs, but you guys are family to me. You're amazing. And I look forward to chatting more with you in the new year. And I'm going to try, like I said, I'm going to try my best next year, whether I invest in some software. First thing I might want to do is invest a little bit of money in StreamYard, which I think has been an absolutely dynamite platform for doing this, guys. So any of you first-time podcasters out there, I can't recommend StreamYard enough. It's simple. It's easy to use. And it sounds pretty good. Never had really many technical issues, unlike Google Hangouts, which used to always be an absolute nightmare most weeks. So this has been really good. And if you do pay the fees, Um, if you do pay the fees and stuff for it, you get they do a lot of stuff on the back end, so you don't need a real complex computer setup and stuff like that. So yeah, and probably in the new year, yeah, hopefully might have some new graphics or a bunch of different things. Definitely going to start taking a look at the brand. Definitely, and one big thing I want to do next year as well is invest in some merchandise, and I want to start giving away some merchandise on shows to all you awesome followers. Yeah, chat man, you guys give yourself a pat on the back. You're awesome. And no, thanks, Monster. First guy in the house tonight. That was fantastic. And Shannon Lovely, thank you for the support. Splendiferous coming in and dropping $5 before I get out of here. I have neither the time nor the crayons to explain things to those guys, man. I feel envy for everyone they never met. That's a great comment. That's funny. I'm going to have to record that one. But good stuff, man. Thanks to my prostate. My streams suck. Maybe I will try StreamYard. Well, brother, you'll be on our show next week, so you're going to have plenty of chance to get your chops wet. So look forward to seeing that. And yeah, look forward to all the shows coming up in the next few weeks. Cyber Gunter, look forward to playing some games with you online, bro. Cyber, we've had a few good years together, eh? We've really come a long ways. Good stuff, guys. But anyway, go back to Porta Player. What's going on, man? Yeah, it's good to be on. I just felt like doing a little impromptu tonight. So good to hear from you. Bell Airy, Mogzy, what's going on? I know I asked on Twitter as well about guests you'd like to see on the show. I had some amazing suggestions. A few of them I've already reached out to in the past, but have had no success of getting them on. I hope that I can get so soon. I'm pretty sure I'd have no problem getting Dealer to come on at some point. Dealer and I are good. We're friends, and he's pretty down to earth. And when he gets time, he normally would come on. As far as the rest of the guys, we'll see. I like all the guys over the RDX podcast. They're amazing. Shout out to them. Let's give them a shout out to obviously Dealer, Fonzarelli, Beastfire, Tim Dog, D-Batch, Zocker, obviously Colt Eastwood when he was there. Colt, much love to you, brother. Congratulations on all your success. He's hit some incredible numbers. I know some of the PlayStation guys can't stand him, but that's just because they're sour graping. Colt's one of the best content creators out there right now. Just a great guy. He's just a nice guy. Bottom line, and all that stuff. Yeah, Spooky. I got to get Spooky Sprocket back on. Shout out to Spooky, who was on a while back, and congratulations to Spooky. I think him and Trinity Warrior have got engaged just a week or two ago. So shout out to those guys. And yeah. And shout out to RDX. Shout out to my good buddy, Mr. Boomstick Excel and Primetime Gaming Podcast and Xbox Factor and Breakfast with Boom. And shout out to my brothers over at the Gaming Beyond the Box, Wilmy Hood and Company over there. Shout out to Mav and his wife, Caitlin. She was in the chat earlier. Great love there for Fun Speculation, the Ultimate Xbox Podcast. Shout out to all of those guys there. Yeah, Mr. Boomstick XL. Shout out to my own podcast. There's so many of them out there right now. Shout out to Pong Soul and Steel Rain for their podcast on Saturday mornings. For some reason, the titles elude me off the top of my head for something. Sound like I'm on an award show. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Dealer's the reason you're here. Well, see, there you go. Dealer, that's what I'm saying. Dealers gave me some love on his show. His show is one of the biggest out there, and I've gotten some people to come over and check out mine because he said, "Hey, show Newf some love." And I have a very unique podcast too. It's it's obviously not as technical as their stuff, but my podcasts are definitely pretty funny. I think they're very entertaining. That's the biggest thing I get from when people leave me chats on my podcast. If you look at the chats, outside of that odd guy that'll come on and be a complete asshat, a lot of people come on and say, Newf, you made my Sunday. You made me laugh. I was in tears. I had a good time. Shout out some of my brothers up here in Canada. They came for Grant. Brother, good to those guys are awesome. Kay Asante, another great guy right there. Kay Asante, Wandering Dutch, my British people, Assassin Lupa, Mr. Tushy, Animated Evil, the guys over at Mike Mullis, the original Next Level Gaming podcast, Mike Mullis and HTK, Fastback, great guys right there. Unbelievable stuff. And the guys I don't do podcasts with anymore for whatever reason. Shout out to Attack the Glitcher. We used to have a great show there with Attack the Glitcher and Proto Foxy and Jago Kukin and those guys. And um, shout out to Primal Eve, who I wish was still a big part of Gaming After Dark. It would be great to have a really whimsical, funny ass, give shit, take shit kind of lady that she was. So shout out to Primal Eve. She has an open invitation to come back. I've let her know this many times. Do you think PlayStation will have a better year in 2022? Phil says, I would say you can bank on it, Portal. If their big games come out this year, like God of War, obviously, they're going to have a great start to 2022 with Horizon Forbidden West. So if they get Horizon out at the start of the year, God of War comes in at the end, there's no way they're going to have an off year. It's going to be a great year for PlayStation. Let's just hope that they can get more PS5s in the households and into people's hands, because right now a lot of people are missing out on that experience. Go get Ratchet and Clank. You have a PlayStation 5, you haven't played it, it deserves to be in your collection. Make sure you go check that out. But PlayStation's going to have a great. Xbox is going to have a stellar year. PlayStation is going to have. It's going to be a 2022-23. Now that the COVID is, well, it's not gone, but teams are starting to get back to work. We're starting to see the fruitions of their labor. So I think we're going to see a much better year. Nintendo's the question mark. I don't know what they've got up their sleeve. They've been really quiet. But their hardware is selling like crazy, and Nintendo's making bank selling games that they've been selling since the launch of Switch. You look at the top 20, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Mario Kart 8 and Smash Bros. And all these games are like still up there. So, I didn't get Returnal. Returnal's just not my bag. It looks cool, but as soon as I found out it was a roguelite and I watched people playing it on videos, I was like, I'm not going to play this. As soon as someone said you basically die and you start over and you go back to these biomes, I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm out. Nintendo does always win no matter what. But shout out to all three companies for just making gaming great, for giving us all options. Not everything is great. Not everyone knocks it out of the park. They all have their strengths. Some of them have their weaknesses. But the fact that, we have that option to buy and play all three is just absolutely amazing. And I wouldn't have the gaming industry, any other way. I think it's phenomenal. Like for me, I love my Switch because I have the Switch Lite and I can take it wherever I want and play games. And I don't have to worry about cloud and internet most of the time because, they have the little cartridges and you can stick it in. It's a fairly new console, but still old school in sort of its approach for the most part. I just wish they get with the times when it came to their online. That's the biggest thing for them. So, tinfoil hat, everyone had to take a shot that was encouraged by Bill Gates. All of a sudden, people are liking Xbox. Well, I've always liked Xbox. I had some times where I was pretty angry with Xbox for a lot of different reasons. I'll be the first to tell you right now, I'm still not the biggest fan of Game Pass. And it's not because Game Pass isn't great and it's not phenomenal value, but I guess for me being so old school, being a guy that likes games on discs and disk drives and everything else, yes, I know I'm fossilized, but I don't like what Game Pass represents. I don't like where Game Pass is taking the industry, and because Game Pass becomes popular, other people will copy and imitate that. Netflix got popular. Everybody's copying and imitating what they're doing. And obviously it's get with the times, they're leading us into the digital age, as they say. How many more systems are going to come out that are even going to feature a disk drive, for example? I think those days are numbered. We might see one more, if that, and that could be a big question mark. The more people that buy the Series S, the more people that buy the digital PS5, you're really going to lead the way. You're basically going to put the nail in the coffin, as they say, if those numbers continue to grow and the disk drive versions of the consoles kind of start dwindling and stuff like that. If all they're going to be basically good for is being a movie player, gamers want to play games. So at the end of the day, if you never use a feature in the console, a lot of people would just they'd rather take the savings. Heck, I bet you half of the Xbox guys Put a last question for you guys in the chat, since I'm running a little over time here. How many of you would prefer the Xbox Series X without the drive? If you could have saved $50 or $100, how many of you would have went for a digital edition of the Series X? I'd like to see that in the chat. Just curious, because for me, I don't know if I would have bought either one if they didn't have a disc drive. To be quite honest with you, as weird as that sounds. Yeah, the PlayStation Plus Tier 3 sounds like a pretty good thing. Hopefully it's reasonably priced, competitively, right? They got a great back catalog of fantastic games too, a rich history of PlayStation. Well, like I said, and the only thing that's really missing from them would be to get some of those day and date things in. And I don't think they'll do that right away, but I could see Sony doing that down the road as they start to figure out that they're making a lot more money with subscriptions and numbers in that retrospect, as opposed to counting their consoles sold. So at the end of the day, it's, you can say what you like. You can be Sony and you can gloat about your 105 million consoles or your, but if you can't sell the software, if you can't, it doesn't make a difference. It's, they see Microsoft as hauling in bank with 1/3 of the amount of consoles sold. So how does that work? Right. So anyway, Portal, yeah, man, have a great night. Have fun at work if that's possible. You use it as a Blu-ray player. Actually, no disc drive would be a no-go for me, like playing the physical. Well, it's kind of weird, when we say that, because at the end of the day, I'm not that stupid. I do know that a lot of these physical discs are no more than DRM licenses. As a matter of fact, I heard that Halo Infinite didn't even come on the disc at all. It's just essentially a license. It's a piece of plastic inside of a piece of plastic. But I mean, the cool thing for me is if I ever decide to get rid of Game Pass, one, I still have that license. I can still play the game, right? That's the bonus. Two, I guess it's still value. I can trade it in, I would assume, or get some kind of credit or value. Not that that's going to happen, but that's what I'm saying. There are still some bonuses and values to things, especially a guy like me who's really, really proficient in Newfonomics. So you have a Series S, but you're going to get a Series X first chance. Absolutely, man. Series X is a beast. I love it. But I mean, the Series S is a great little console too. So you never had a digital console before this because they value game preservation. So like to keep, well, it's just something cool about, when you look at your collection of games and you got these walls, mind you, if you go to move, that's when your game collection becomes disturbingly problematic. You're like, oh my God, I've got hundreds of games. I've got to box these things up and I got to move them. Or if you had a fire in your house or something like that, I can see where that could be problematic. Imagine losing thousands of games in a fire. Think about it that way. With Xbox, if you're buying them digitally, at least you can go back and re-download. Everything's there. If you lose those games in the fire, you got to go out and you got to try to acquire that disc again, essentially, right? Because it's not like they give you a digital pass when you buy the disc. And you know why they won't do that? Because if you were getting, say, a digital pass with a disc version of the game, what people would do is install the digital, get rid of it, and then basically sell the disc and, that sort of thing. So, but anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. Appreciate all 20 odd plus people watching the show tonight. You guys are absolutely amazing. Serenity, thanks for being here. Froggy T. Wright, Wise Little Gamer, Splendiferous, unbelievable, Metalhead, Portal Player, Bell Airy, Blue Moon FC, John 907, Cyber Gunter, Axel 1324. The Metalhead dropped the $5 super chat earlier. I don't know if I read it out, but Merry Christmas, Newf. You rock. Well, you rock too, Metalhead. Bang on, baby. Yeah. I think I got, yeah. Yeah. All the super chats tonight, too. That was crazy. You guys are amazing, man. You guys are amazing. But anyway, I'm going to let everybody get out of here. Pixel slap all those good guys. Thanks so much for being here. Appreciate it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this little dabble. And Axel was here. I know he was here. He came in earlier. Toolman, yeah, good to see you too. And I'll definitely get you on probably on another podcast at some point. I think Sir X-Men wanted to get on. Sometimes I get everybody mixed up. Monster 530, Shannon Lovely. Yes, good night, everybody. Froggy G. Right. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed this because it's encouraging. Because if you enjoyed this, I'll come back and do more in the future. This was a very surprise impromptu, but I just, like I said, I wanted to give you guys an update on where things are. And lastly, before I get out of here, once again, this Sunday, Good Morning Xbox, which is 9 a.m. Eastern. It is 7 a.m. Mountain Time on my YouTube channel. This one right here. We're going to be doing Good Morning Xbox. We will have some special guests. We're going to have some indie devs from Crate Studios to talk about Grim Dawn, a action RPG in the vein of Diablo, which is now out for Xbox. And who knows, they might be giving away some codes to the game, all that stuff. And then next week on Gaming After Dark, the Wise Old Gamer's in the chat right now. He's going to be our guest as we do the year in review. And our first show of Good Morning Xbox on January the 2nd, right into the new year. We've got an incredible guest lined up, guys. Pope Art. You know him? Some people know him as Xbox Pope. Used to be formerly known as Xbox Pope. Now Pope Art does those incredible controller and console designs. He's designed stuff for some of the biggest brands and console companies in the industry. And I'm super excited to have him on the show. I think it could be essentially one of my biggest guests ever, because almost anybody that knows anything about Xbox knows Xbox Pope. Hey, man, if you can't make it on Sundays live, it's all good. You can check out the show on the replay. You know what? The likes, the support, the shares, the subscriptions, it all means as much to me a day later as it does the day of the show. But, I mean, I always love the interaction I get during the live shows and being able to talk to you guys sort of one-on-one. Seeing the live questions and being able to do all that stuff. So, yeah. So there you have it, guys. Yes, have a great holiday, Jesse Derby. And I'll catch you guys all on the next few shows. Up until then, you have yourself a great night. Get back to go playing some games. Go back to playing some Halo, baby. It's all good. Have fun. Take care. Stay healthy. And we'll see you soon. Boom, boom, kaboom is out of the room. Take care, everybody.